Alright, so let's give this a try here. We're going to be on the draw. This hand is fine. It has a good curve to it. Depending on what he does, I may play the Fume Spitter and then the Lone Missionary, but I'm going to have to skip one of those to play the Evolving Wilds, because I have a 1-drop, a 2-drop, a 3-drop, and a 4-drop. We're definitely not mulliganing, so let's just see what we're up against. If it's Infect, we'll just run the Fume Spitter out there and eat his first guy. Is it Goblins? Alright, it's Goblins, so Fume Spitter on turn 1 is less important than the other cards, so we're going to go ahead and do Evolving Wilds for a Swamp. Take some damage here, but we'll put out a Lone Missionary, and then a Chittering Rat, and then a Phyrexian Rager, and we should be ahead. Fume Spitter can come in later and clean up like a Goblin Sledder or something that's threatening to just blow us out of the game. So he's obviously going to cast another creature. Okay, so there's a Sledder. Well, that's a beating. He's done everything he can do this turn, so I'm going to play a Swamp and F6. Alright, I'm going to get those 4 points back here with Lone Missionary. How he plays next turn is really going to affect a lot of what we do. Man, I really wish I had been on the play with this hand, but we'll see. One advantage we are going to have is that this is a total brew, so like nobody knows the list or knows what to expect from me, I'm hoping. Let's hope Lone Missionary really shines here. I was going to say the Fume Spitter, I'm going to probably save if he has Sparksmith. That's definitely going to be something that I want to remove. So, alright, so he can trade Arsonist for Missionary and get a +1/+1 pump. That's pretty good. Oh, he bolted Missionary. Well, that makes almost no sense at all, but to each his own, I guess. Alright, so he's got 3 cards in hand. I'm at 17. That's pretty good. He didn't draw, or he didn't play a land last turn, so that makes me want to play Chittering Rats. That guarantees he will not make a land drop this next turn, and if he doesn't have a creature he can cast, like, I feel like if he had a Sparksmith or like a m1g War Marshal, those are both better plays than the plays he made. So if his hand is full of Burn or like more Sledders or something like that, then that would explain my line. The other thing I could do is play Phyrexian Rager, but I don't like that as much. Liliana Spectre is a 2/1, which makes it a lot worse because it can't block any of the 1/1s. So I'm just going to do this and lock him up for a turn. If I draw an untapped land, I'll play the Fume Spitter and either Rager or Spectre, and then hopefully be in control at a reasonably high life total and way ahead in cards. This is one of the matchups where Unearth is pretty good. Like, blocking with Lone Missionary and then unearthing it is pretty much the biggest beating ever. So hopefully he doesn't just go Bushwhacker here. Okay, so pretty much what we thought. More Sledders. That's a pretty good call on our part, actually. So let's see what he says about that. If he attacks with just the 2/2, then I'm probably going to take it, because I don't really want to trade for just a random goblin. Okay. The Arsonist I will probably block. The Sledder I will definitely block. Yeah, he's figured that out. So if I block the Arsonist, then I trade for that. If I block the... let me figure out what I want to trade for, because I'm not really seeing why the Arsonist is a better trade than the 2/2. He can use a Sledder to sack anything he wants to, and yeah, I just need to, if I do this, then I need this off the board in case I have to play Liliana Spectre next turn, because I don't want him to just shoot it and get in there. So I'm more than happy to trade straight up there and go to 15. And he does have 3 Sledders in play, and that's kind of annoying, but he doesn't have any of the cards that make the Sledders really awesome, and we can Spectre away his last card here and leave him playing off the top of his deck. So that hopefully will give us a chance to stabilize. And there's a Guardian of the Guild pack, which will help a lot. So since he has exactly 1 card in hand, it seems like an ideal time to drop the Spectre. And then it's his board. It's basically his board against our hand. And I like our hand's odds, especially once we add this Guardian of the Guild pack. Oh yeah, Goblin Matron, yeah. That was a good one for us to get out of his hand. So hopefully he doesn't draw a creature here, because then we can just stop him. Oh, he drew yet another dude. Well, that's how it goes. We're snap blocking any of the Goblin Sledders if he attacks with them. If he attacks just for 2, I think we're fine with that as well. So we are going to take some damage. Wait a minute. Why would I block a Sledder? If I block a Sledder and he does nothing, then it's the same as if he pumped the cohort, except I take more damage. Yeah, sorry about that. That was... At least I thought through the play before I made the mistake. Yeah, why would I block a 1-1 instead of a 2-2 with a 2-1? Sometimes the most obvious plays you miss when you're trying to be too smart. That's basically what I'm doing, is like trying to be too smart and be like, how can I game somebody? It's like, just make the obvious play and most of the time you'll be fine. Alright. So now it's really like him playing off the top of his deck is... I think we want to go ahead and get Guardian down, and then next turn play Rager plus Spitter. I guess the problem with that is that if he draws like Goblin Bushwhacker right here, we lose. But, So he gets in 3 damage next turn if he draws a creature against Guardian. Whereas against Rager he gets in 2, but I lose a life. But I have an extra blocker in case he draws a... But then my Rager trades where my Guardian wouldn't. I'm just going to hope he doesn't rip Goblin Bushwhacker right here and try to stabilize. He has no good... Well, he has no great attacks, even if he draws a creature here, and if he draws anything else, he really can't attack at all. m1g Conscript, you say? Well, the top of his deck has been generous to him, but it's part of the game. So now I get to eat a Goblin Cohort in exchange for 3 damage. I guess I'm okay with that. Another Lone Missionary would be fine, but what we don't want to do is get so low on life that he can just burn us out. Makes no sense to hold any creatures back here if you're going to attack, because whatever you attack with is something, one of them is going to die and the rest are going to get through. So there's no reason to hold back. Either don't attack, which I think is wrong, or attack with everything. Alright, well maybe he knows something we don't. I will gladly eat a Goblin Sledder. And he didn't even sacrifice it to one of the unblocked ones. I think that's a misplay. Alright, so play Rager, we go to 9, we play Fume Spitter and pick off one of the Sledders. And then we trade the Rager for one of his 2/2s, and that's if he draws a creature. Yeah, I think I like this line of play. If we play the Rager first instead of the Plains, because if we draw a Terramorphic Expanse, we'll want to make that our drop for the turn. Okay, that's fine. Fume Spitter it up. I'm going to go ahead and pick off the Goblin Sledder now. Pass the turn. So yeah, now we're in that awkward part of the game where we've pretty much stabilized, but he can just draw a lot of burn or like a Bushwhacker and really pull ahead. So the key is going to be for us to keep adding creatures and drawing cards. He did not draw a creature, which means he drew either a land or a burn spell. Why would you attack with Mog Raider into Guardian of the Guild pack? Sure, I'll look you up. I think that was just a mistake. Yeah. Alright, well, free cards are nice. We are playing a card advantage deck, so we won't complain about free stuff. Let's get a Spectre down and go ahead and take away whatever his last card is. If it's a burn spell, we want him to go ahead and use it so we at least know about it. It is a burn spell that for some reason he did not cast. Okay, so our opponent is not playing extremely well here, but he will get the Death Spark back if he blocks here, I guess, but he'll have to pay 1 for it, which he is kind of mana constrained right now, and he has to play a creature for any of his creatures to be any good. I'm probably just going to go ahead and cycle this Baron War. I can't imagine. I kind of like the old card face more, so I'm going to leave that one around, since they are identical creatures. Alright, we'll cycle this. Even if we draw another land, it's one we won't have to draw next turn, and fine with that. So we're pretty stable here. He could rip an incredible run of lightning bolts and get us, but we have 4 power that he can't block. He does at the Death Spark now, I guess, but we're going to be taking over this game shortly. Bone Splitter would not be a bad draw. Alright, you got me. Another Shinobi, huh? I guess I play Rager, and if I draw an untapped land, I can Shinobi this turn as well. If I don't, it'll be a gas spell. Or another Rager. Well, I guess I'm just gonna hope he doesn't draw a bunch of lightning bolts, because I really need to play out these Ragers, but I really need to like start attacking. Now I get the land I needed. That seems about right. Alright. Yeah, because this deck will beat you if you just wait around. It's got plenty of burn, and it's got, you know, it can come back. So, isn't it about time for him to draw a mountain? Answer: no. It is not time for him to draw a mountain. It's time for him to draw more gas. That's disappointing. That is a lot of gas with only 2 lands, but I wonder how many goblins runs. I don't know exactly, to be honest. Alright, more swamps for us. So we can Shinobi. It's almost got to be the right play to Shinobi, even if it costs us another life, because yeah, that just has to be the right play, because the card in his hand is obviously valuable, and he has Death Spark that could take us, you know, he could pair with some bolts anyway, so we can leave back the Guardian so we don't take any combat damage. Alright, so he loses a guy, and he loses what's left of his hand. We'll be able to pick the Death Spark back up, but I think I'm more worried about just killing him here before he can reload. Alright, so we got rid of a Mog Raider. That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I guess we just run out this Rager. Try to find another Lone Missionary. That would be pretty much seal the deal. Squadron Hawk would do it. Guardian of the Guild Pack's pretty good in this spot, because he's playing off the top of his deck, and like he could draw Bolt here, but more than likely he won't. And as long as he doesn't, these Guardians should finish the job before he can just outdraw us. If he pays the 1 here, he's not going to be able to play what he draws, and he's going to have to pitch it to Shinobi, so he may wait a turn on the Death Spark. He did. Alright. Slider. Alright, that doesn't bother me whatsoever. He could kill Phyrexian Rager, I guess, but then he's just taking 2 more damage. Like, okay. He could kill Shinobi. I guess we'll just wait and see what he has to say. Alright, so he killed Shinobi, went to 13. This turn, he's got no cards in hand. Another Rager? I feel like I've drawn like 50. I guess I've just drawn all 4 and used... Do I really want to go to 5? Is 5 that much worse than 6? He's got no cards in hand, so let's see. I definitely want to play a Guardian of the Guild Pack this turn. So I think I just bash with both and then play Rager and Guardian and threaten to kill next turn. Yeah. There's a few outs to that, but not many. He's probably just gonna take, and then he'll be at 9. I'll have plenty of defense. I'm gonna play Rager first because I think if I draw a lone missionary or a removal spell like an unmake, then I might want to have the option of playing that. Chittering Rats? Yeah, it's not. It's good, but it's no Guardian. Alright, so I am at 5. He can pick up the Death Spark and draw a Lightning Bolt, and that would combine to put me to 1. But I think, like, if he doesn't have that specific line of play, he's pretty dead here. And even if he draws Bolt, he can't cast both, and I'll get the other card with Shinobi. So, I think all systems are go here. Alright, so he's Death Sparking me down to 4. No attacks. I can't imagine he would just throw a guy away. Though he's done it before. Alright, so now he drops to 7. That makes even less sense. And is Fume Spitter lethal? Fume Spitter is not lethal. Because he can sack the Sparksmith to keep his... Oh, but he doesn't know about the ninjutsu, so he won't have any reason to do that. What I'm going to do is pick off his blocker, and then I'll get the extra point from the Shinobi, and that will finish him off. Well, that was kind of an awkward game, but I'm happy having won it. I gotta get these Shinobis out of here, though. They're definitely not where I want to be against Mono Red. I don't even know if they play Flaring Pain in their sideboards anymore. Could be. What do I play in my sideboard? I don't think I want additional Fume Spitters, but I think the 2 that I have are fine. Like, I don't think I want a hand of multiple Fume Spitters against him, but I think having a couple is alright. So I'm not going to take any out, but I'm not going to put any more back in. Unmake is pretty bad. Like, Unmake costs 3 and usually trades with a 1-drop, and I didn't see any fantastic... Well, he had Sparksmith. Maybe Fume Spitter is better than Unmake. And then the question is whether I want something like Prismatic Strands to stop Goblin Bushwhacker, or Unearth just to give me additional value off Lone Missionaries. So I have Guardians and I have... Alright, these Shinobis are definitely going. Maybe I want to just do these 6 for these 6. Snuff Out's fine. Like, even like turn 1 Snuff Out your 2/2 usually ends up netting you life. I really just want to stay alive long enough to let my Guardians and my superior card advantage take over the game. You know what's really bad is Ravenous Rats. I forgot how bad those are because I didn't draw them that game. So let's keep Bone Splitter. Let's keep... Like, Fume Spitter's way better than Ravenous Rats. Prismatic Strand's better than Shinobi. And then I have Unearth. Unearth is good with Fume Spitter too. I can kill a 2/2 for 2 cards, but cards don't matter as much as some of the other stuff. 1 Unmake. Now let's go 1 Snuff Out. I think I'm fine with this, especially on the draw.